Hey, you're not just listening to any radio station. You found your station. We listen to you. We are building the kind of radio station that you want to listen to longer. And we make it easy for everyone in the family to listen to because that's what you've told us you want. And the people who make all this possible are the great advertising partners we have on the air. And when you respond to their ads, you do your part to help us stay on the air. So we want to say thanks. After all, this is your radio station.
St. Louis's new Christian radio.
How many times have you heard me cry out, God, please take this? How many times have you given me strength to just keep breathing?
This is The Wally Show, and that is new music from Plumb. And oh my goodness, you have pinned yourself quite the song there, girl. And look, we got Plumb live in studio with us.
Yay!
I absolutely love this song.
Thanks.
Love it. Like, and you know, I think you know enough about me that I wouldn't tell you that if I didn't mean it.
You don't blow smoke?
No, not at all, man. And I absolutely love that song. Now, we'll get to where that song ended up coming from, you know, out of your life and all the stuff that's going on with that. I hope that doesn't terrify you.
Nope.
Because you're an open book. So we'll get to all of that stuff. But first, for anyone that doesn't know you, you know, I want to get to know you quicker with my paper or plastic quiz, okay?
Okay.
Because the way you answer these questions tells me a lot about you
Okay.
in a very short amount of time. So here we go. Paper or plastic with Plumb. Minivan or SUV?
I drive a Flex. What's that?
Oh, no. That's
Like an SUV.
no, that's pretentious. It's Flex.
Oh,
Yeah.
my mom has one of those.
No, it's like I have a minivan. I
Okay.
gave it to my husband.
Okay. Oh, that's bad for him.
Because I had it for 7 years, and then I got a Flex.
A Flex,
And so
is that like a...
it's like a car.
Wait, is it like the Flex Fuel, or is it just the Flex, like...
It's a Ford Flex. It's like a minivan
It's like
inside
the
of a
Element,
car.
but longer.
Oh, you're good. No, that's great.
It is.
Yes, that's great. That's very hip. I thought it was like a hybrid type
No.
thing.
No.
Okay, because that dovetails into one of my other questions.
Okay.
Whole Foods or Publix?
Publix.
There you go. Oh, I know I've always liked
I
you.
just don't live near a Whole Foods.
Ugh.
But I could not shop at Whole Foods. It's too expensive to go there all the time.
Thank you. And there's so much judgment. Like, I love to drive in there with my SUV and leave it running while I go inside. It's the best.
Hilarious. I'm a new vegetarian.
Really?
I saw a documentary. I got sucked in, and I totally...
Really? Now, was it one of those things, we're talking to Plumb, was it one of those things that's like scares you into like how your meat is made, so you're like, okay, I'm not going to ever do that?
Not so much about how it's made. I mean, my father-in-law is a cattle farmer.
Oh.
And he's a beef guy.
Well,
And
he's
so
got to be so disappointed.
He kind of is. But we started it on New Year's, and
Does he ever try to slip the kids steak, like when they come over to
we
visit?
accidentally fed them a...
Yeah,
No.
I thought it was a green bean. Turns out to be a T-bone. My bad. Let me see here. Miss Me jeans or sweatpants?
Miss Me jeans or sweatpants? What are Miss Me jeans?
Uh-oh. I know, and she doesn't. That is really bad. You know what? We're done with paper plastic. Paper plastic over. How can you not know what Miss Me jeans are? You're doing this on purpose to make
I
me
don't.
look like a
I have
girl.
no idea.
I
Really?
learned from you if it makes you feel better.
That does not make me feel better. It does not help at all, Katie, but thank you. This is The Wally Show, and today we have Plumb on the show. This is very exciting, and she is the lady that has that song right there that, you know, Need You Now.
That one.
That one, the
Right
one
there.
you're hearing. That is a great song, quite
Thanks.
honestly. And I think that's a song that is going to be very influential in a lot of people's lives. I think that'll help a lot of people because of the honesty in it. And so I'm curious, like, I had heard that your life has just been absolutely perfect the last couple years with no drama whatsoever.
None. No drama.
So it's weird that a desperate cry-out song like that would seem to originate out of you.
What are the chances?
So we haven't talked about what has been going on with you. Like,
Woo! A
yeah.
lot. The bottom fell out of my life.
Like what?
I started to lose everything in my life. My husband and I separated
Oh, no way.
2 days after
I
Christmas.
thought I had heard that, but I'm real careful about rumors that I
Yeah.
hear because half the time they're not true and things. And like
Right.
for me, like where I hadn't talked to you in a while, I'm like, I don't want to
Assume that
further
or
that
whatever.
or assume it or
Right.
whatever. But I had heard that. So that's one of those things that for a Christian artist is difficult for people to understand because they put you on this pedestal, but
Right.
they forget that you are a real person working through a real marriage every day with
Yeah.
the same exact struggles that come with that.
Yeah.
And so, like, was there a fear of even sharing that with people and letting that out of the bag, so
Well,
to speak?
I will say that when it initially happened, I could hardly breathe. I had a hard time with just a rational thought, and I imagine someone drowning almost. So you're grasping at anything. I thought that we were bulletproof. This was, there may be a long list of things that we may struggle with in our life or in our marriage or in our family, but this is just not going to be one of them.
Well, at the end of all of that searching, we're talking to Plumb, like the end of all of that, what came down to your answer?
We got broken together, and I think if you almost imagine a huge piece of glass, and it just is super strong, super thick, it's transparent, and you think this is a really strong piece of glass. And then there's like these little nicks and dings that happen, and you're like, I can't barely see that one. It's not a big deal. Oh, well, here, just shift it over here, and you can't see that crack over here as much. And then busyness, getting so busy and so overly extended financially, emotionally, relationally, just in friendships, and being so scattered almost in every way. It's like we had all these plates spinning, and I remember saying to him at one point, you know, I just hope at some point one of the plates that falls is not us. Like if it's our finances, you know, maybe we can bounce back from that. But if it's our marriage, you know, it's just not worth it. And so the plates dropped. I mean, it involved everything. And it was all, you know, half his fault, half my fault. And you kind of just have to own what's yours. And so I think some of the details of our story are shameful. And I don't think that they bring glory to God to talk about. And I think it's more our response to that circumstance that
Right, because regardless of how you got there, I think what's important, because a lot of people get there in their lives, and so I think what people are wondering is, all right, well, I've been where you're at right now, or I am where you're at right now. How do I get out of that? Like, what was the key? And you get to a point where it all caves in on you, to the point where you and your husband even separate. How do you go about rebuilding that marriage? Because I know there are a lot of people that are in that place right now that are listening and are like trying to grab anything they can to save their marriage. So like, how did you guys do that then?
I had to get out of God's way. And I know that sounds, you know, to just fall off the tongue. It just sounds so easy. But both he and I would try to orchestrate and manipulate certain elements and circumstances to fix it. Of just, well, I'm calling his best friend, telling his best friend, go to lunch with him and say this, you know, and then of course, you know, he's doing this and this and this.
I've been that best friend that was caught in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And it's really awkward.
It's hard.
And it's really hard.
And be willing to be honest with yourself when he reveals to you what that is. And he uses...
Even if it's you.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That's the worst part, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think, top of the list is we went to a Christian marriage and family therapist. I think that is... hands down, if someone is in that kind of a circumstance, that is the first thing you need to seek after, is a Christian marriage and family therapist. It's so easy to find a girlfriend that's like, he said that.
That's right.
You know, and it's like, you need people in your life that are for your marriage, not for you. And people that are willing to say, okay, well, here's some stuff you can own. I believe there is always hope, but it was really small. Fast forward, we reconciled. We were separated for a total of almost 6 months, which in part is why the record Need You Now didn't come out until February of 2013.
Really?
It's sort of emotional for me to even be here. I was at my house and I turned on the radio and I was in my kitchen and I heard Aaron Shoes say, "My hope is in you all the day long. I won't be shaken." I hit the ground in my kitchen and I, for the first time in my life, became a Christian music listener. I've been a Christian since I was 8. I've been a Christian artist since I was 21. But I have totally played the too cool for school role, where you're like, oh, you know, I don't always listen to Christian music.
Right.
And realizing in that moment, I became the listener. I was hopeless, and I needed hope. And it's like, okay, after this song, what's the next song going to be? And then, you know, Mac Powell says, you know, I need a miracle.
Wow.
And then, you know, Matthew West, and then it just Mandisa, like one after the other, were just saying things that I was like, I need to hear this. And it was like, these are people, many of which are friends of mine, but it was like they weren't my friend at the time on the radio. It was just God speaking through them.
That's the thing I love about this, is because the thing about the music that we play is that it is the truth of God presented in different ways, but it is his truth that will hit you sometimes like nobody else. And the funny thing is, the full circle part of this is that you then have this song, Need You Now, that is doing the exact same thing for somebody else that's hitting the floor in their kitchen, but this song is what's going to give them the strength to go one more day.
Right.
And it all was born out of this thing, and it's that full circle thing that God does so well with our stories, you know, which is just a beautiful thing.
I just felt so much love and hope and peace. And when the radio, when I would leave the house, I would go into the car and then turn it on the radio. I wanted it on, and I literally, I believe that the enemy hates the name of Jesus. And so I would, while we were separated, And even still, like right now, my dog is listening to Way FM right now. He's in his crate at my house, listening to Way FM. I left it on all night long. It just stayed on all the time. Whether I was home or not, it was on. Because I just wanted that in my house, and I wanted that in my ears. And I was like, okay, this is giving me, like, even if we end up divorced, there is a sense of peace that comes from knowing that my hope can be in him, and that I can trust him to never leave me, to never forsake me, to never give me more than I can bear. Because right now I don't feel like I can take any more. And I had to believe that the fact that I was breathing in and out and I was making it through the day, God clearly is carrying some of this load for me.
Well, everybody's got a story to tell, and everybody's got a wound to be healed. I wanna believe there's beauty here, 'cause oh, I get so tired of holding on. How many times have you given me strength? How many times have you heard me cry out, God, please take this? How many times have you given me strength to just keep breathing? Oh, I need you, God, I need you now. I need you now. Oh, I need you, God, I need you now. I need you now. I need you now.
Hey, you're not just listening to any radio station. You found your station. We listen to you.
I like the positive. I love the songs.
I feel stronger and I feel inspired.
St. Louis's new Christian radio, The Rock.